face that much. But I can imagine, Matt, if there were problems with him and Kevin Dunn, then that was probably his card marked automatically there. Matt, from your perspective, is this was this inevitable to happen, or the timing of it a little bit shocking? What's your take on it?
I wouldn't say it was inevitable, but it was pretty sudden. It came out of the blue a little bit, because like I said, we were just sitting there watching the wrestling, and we had this news flash up, and was like, wow, is this actually real? This has happened, you know? Definitely a surprise. But, you know, from what we gather, just lots of little incidents, you know, all amounted up into this position we find ourselves in, where he's had his contract terminated, which is a bit of a shame. You know, he wasn't terrible as a wrestler. I mean, he wasn't one of my favourites, but I'm not going to say I'm going to miss the guy terribly, because I'm sure there's loads of other talent that can just slide into that slot straight away, and he'll probably do fairly well for himself on the independents anyway. I'm sure he'll get a few bookings here and there, so he won't be doing too badly. It's just some of the incidents were quite funny. When you said about rumours, my favourite one was when apparently he got locked in a toilet and kicked the door off, you know, as you do, and then no one could actually use that toilet on the European tour. So that sounded like a load of fun. I'm sure that made everyone happy.
Yeah. Oh, so it was like on the coach? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'd only read, like, I remember reading that story, and apparently that was the tour, like, bus thing that was taken around. So, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, that you would have heard me a few years ago, you know, when Big Cass and Enzo were together. I was fans of both guys, especially Enzo, and you know, Big Cass, I always kept saying, I remember I kept saying to you, Matt, I was like, don't pull the trigger too soon with him, let him rise. I know Vince would have definitely marked him a while back, but the thing is, for me, Matt, when he got into the singles run, I think was a little bit exposed. I felt like he wasn't quite up to the standard that maybe the position he was about to go in, certainly up against Daniel Bryan, I think was a bit of a mistake. You know, did really show a lot of weaknesses, and even some spots during the Greatest Royal Rumble, I think you saw elements of that. Now, that's not to say he wouldn't have improved, but for me, I just felt like maybe he would have just been sort of like dead wood for a long time in WWE. I'm not sure there was anything more to go from for him, but you know, who knows, maybe there is a huge attitude problem, but you know, you never rule out these guys, Matt, coming back, do you? Because you know, look at Jinder Mahal, look at Drew McIntyre. You know, when those guys went, I guarantee you nobody thought Jinder was coming back to win the title. So you know, you never know. You know, 12 months down the line, sorts himself, you know, gets back on track, they see him, you know, I'm sure they'll sign him again. So you know, hopefully good luck to him. DX1, quick email here, Matt. He believes that he's going to go straight to Impact. Where do you think that's the only destination for Big Cass? And would you advise to do that, or do you think somewhere else might be better?
Well, you know, if they'll have him, it's not such a terrible idea, because I'm pretty sure they could make him one of their top guys. I mean, they're running pretty short on talent right now. They're losing a lot of deals here, especially if what we hear about Noah is right now. So, you know, they could be looking towards someone like him. And he worked all right for Drew, didn't it? He went there, he changed himself, and became one of the hardest workers there, and WWE took notice. So, as long as you're on TV and getting some notoriety, then, you know, it could be a good deal. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, Big Cass no longer with the WWE. There you go, straight out the door. Other news now from WWE this week. Jeff Hardy pleaded guilty for the driving while impaired in the car accident that took place on I think it was the 10th of the 3rd. Hardy was driving, and you know, there was the incident, Matt, I'm sure you remember reading it, where you know, the Cadillac was damaged. I think they said it was about £5,000 worth of damage to that, and then there was some stuff on the guardrails bits as well that needed to be paid for. But from what we're hearing, you know, it wasn't as bad as what it could have been, I guess. I think, did you get to see the Hardy Boys 24, Matt, recently?
That's just gone out. It's quite funny you brought that topic up.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's on there as well. And,
I think
talks about that.
Yeah,
and it is quite a shame, considering you see the marked change that he's made in his life. Just to see that little slip, and how that affects Matt and everything. It's quite sad to see, because you do want the best for him, but it's just hard for the guy to stay on track. And I hope one day he can actually just get his act together and just stay off of the booze and off of the drugs, and just play it cool, and just focus on his career and his family.
Absolutely. So basically reading this up here, he got community service over the next 120 days. So obviously I wouldn't expect him to be doing I was expecting him to be doing stuff, but not maybe the house shows. I don't know how that works with his with the contracts and stuff, but there you go. So next up, Matt, we've got the all-important, it seems, AJ Styles getting the cover of the 2K19 game. I mean, how excited are you for that, Matt?
Well, I'm glad AJ has it, because he's probably one of the few guys that doesn't really upset anyone having him on the front. I'm sure there's a lot of other wrestlers out there, if they got the front cover, there'd be an uproar.
I was trying to think who's actually taken the cover, and someone like, I think Jimbo said it better not be Roman, and I thought, sure, I think Roman's already had one, but he hasn't actually, which is quite amazing, considering how much they
probably think sales would drop with his space on the cover.
I thought he'd had one by now, but I mean, so literally in the past few years I was sort of going back and I was thinking who's had that cover. Of course we had Seth Rollins, Matt, was a recent one as well, and then we've had the likes of, I think Brock Lesnar had it the year Goldberg was the bonus, wasn't he? Because they always have, like, what they normally do is they have the cover, and then the cover guy gets a trailer for the game, and then the bonus content they get a trailer or something, which is normally a past legend or something like that they do. I'm expecting this year that they'll probably do something like maybe Ronda Rousey or something. I don't know, like some women's thing to it, but I don't count me on that. But I've got a feeling that might be the way they go. But yeah, I mean, obviously they've had Kurt Angle as a bonus, but I was trying to think back, who else have we had in the last sort of 10 years, Matt? I mean, I can think back to CM Punk when he was there. We've had
of course we've had John Cena, the polarizing thing. That's probably the biggest gamble they've had sticking on them for the last 10 years.
That's a good point. I for some reason I had it in my mind that because of this whole women's thing, they were going to put a woman on it, one of the female talents, but obviously maybe that's next year, Matt. Given the way things are going, but I guess it's good news. I mean, I think there are other guys I think that you could have said would have made good ones as well, but nobody's got a problem with AJ. Let's be honest. For me, I mean, from my own personal sort of like standpoint, if there was any other guy I would have liked to have gone on there, purely because I just think like what a waste of time it's all been. Would have probably been like Nakamura or something. But if he'd have won the title this year, maybe he would have been the guy. But he didn't, and unfortunately for that, he wasn't. So, but I was just imagining the sort of sales that they might have got from Japan as well might have gone up a little bit more. But in any case, wasn't to be. But good news for AJ Styles, I guess. And apparently, again, this is the funny thing about 2K. Every year they say this. We've fixed all the problems and we've really changed it. I swear I heard that last year. So it's one of those things with the games now. Like, I'm not dead against them, but I haven't purchased the game since about 3 years ago. I think I got my last game out. I mean, I can't remember when that was.
That was the one we was both really excited about it, and we both went out and bought it, and then we both played it for about 3 months, and then was like, oh wait a minute, it's getting a bit repetitive, isn't it? Yeah,
same old nonsense. So yeah, unfortunately there. Okay, other news now then. Funny enough, is about the the other news that was coming out last week. Ring of Honor, of course, they tried to get in at Madison Square Garden. And lo and behold, as per usual, I think a call came in from somebody at the WWE offices, and they basically have they probably said something along the lines, if you have them in there, then we'll cut ties, all the rest of it, our relationship stands, you can't have another wrestling company go in there. So bad news on them, Matt. But I mean, again, you hear a lot of this sort of stuff, don't you, where WWE kind of get in the way of things, and you think to yourself, like, really and truly, is Ring of Honor a massive threat to WWE. Maybe it is if they're willing to do these kind of things. Matt, what's your take on that? And obviously coming out now that, you know, some of the stuff, I know that the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which obviously own Ring of Honor, for anybody that doesn't know, that's the television station that Ring of Honor actually perform on, which is, we've always spoke about here, Matt, is an amazing advantage they have over WWE because they're owned by a network. And that's something WWE, you know, they couldn't compete with in terms of they could literally put them up at every prime time moment they ever want, but they've never ever looked to do things like that. But yeah, they'll be looking to go there in 2019, and basically what it meant in 2019. I think this is maybe the reason, Matt, but the planned date was the 6th of the 4th, which is the Saturday before WrestleMania, which, if this transpires, would mean head-to-head with the NXT Barclays Center. So maybe, is that why, Matt? Is that why they think like this? Because, you know, they don't want people thinking, hang on, let's not go to NXT, let's get over to a Ring of Honor in more famous arena.
Well, you know, there is that to it, I guess. I think when we had the option to go see NXT in New York, we had also the option to see Ring of Honor, but we opted to go to NXT, which worked out pretty well because we had a great time there. But yeah, I can see why a lot of people are being turned off of the WWE product. So, you know, that might have appealed to quite a lot of people to actually switch over and go to see a different show. And, you know, I'm sure there's reasons behind them blocking it, and I don't really see Ring of Honor as a threat, but there is every potential that one day they could be. Perhaps they think by kicking them, you know, when they're smaller, you know, that will stop them from growing. But, you know, there's always that chance that there's just one visionary idea away from, you know, cracking the code. Much like Vince McMahon did with WrestleMania, wasn't it? He put it all in one basket, went all out, and then, you know, massive gamble that paid off. There's every chance that one day Ring of Honor could do something like that, and, you know, then it could be great for them. That's something that they should worry about, but I don't think for now there's any threat for that. I mean, that would take at least, you know, 10 years to actually build the momentum towards something like that. Yeah,
I think if anything, Triple H might have looked at it and thought, hang on a minute, I want people to come and watch the NXT product. I don't want a big divide in. But let's put it this way: even if they don't get that venue, they'll still get another venue around New York because that's where WrestleMania is coming from. So they will be somewhere, but it would have been cool if they could have got Madison Square Garden. It would have been a massive feat, no doubt about that. But I guess as well, you know, they've got to remember that, you know, they have got ties with New Japan, and I suppose they could have brought in Kenny Omega, and that might have made a bit of a difference as well. You know, like you get a couple of those names in, and all of a sudden NXT looks, you know, quite light compared to Ring of Honor and New Japan sort of co-promoting. So maybe they're just thinking about those things as well, and sort of more New Japan based, who knows. Okay, the other thing we've got to talk about, Matt, just quickly here, is of course the fallout from a couple of weeks ago now. CM Punk, Matt, where does he go from here? Lots of people speculating, can he be all in? Is he going back to wrestling? Would he do New Japan, or would he just not do anything, Matt? What's your take with CM Punk?
Oh yeah, we get this a lot now, don't we? This question, and a lot of interest around CM Punk, as rightly they should be, because, you know, still an incredible talent, and we still, there's no doubt about it. You stick him in the ring, you know, and the mind that he has, you just be like he hasn't missed a day off of work with wrestling. So it'd be great to see him back there. Except I don't think he is going to be back, is he? Because every time he gets asked the question himself, he has like a disdain for it. He doesn't like being asked it almost. He just flat out denies that he's going to have an involvement with it. So, you know, maybe he's a genius. Maybe he's putting us all off the scent, and it's going to be a one huge surprise. But I just really can't see it. After the kind of year that he's had, I wouldn't blame the guy for taking a year or two off, you know, just relaxing, enjoying his married life, you know, think about planning his family and whatever he wants to do. You know, that'll be great for him. You know, because like the offers are never going to stop coming in for him. You know, a couple of years' time when he's reaching the twilight of his career, because he's like almost 40 now anyway. So, you know, give it one more big payoff perhaps. Maybe they'll offer him enough money to tempt him out. But he's quite a stubborn guy, and quite sticks to his ideals. and he didn't like the idea of part-time guys coming in taking all the money. So
yeah,
I gotta say this: the chances are slim for him returning to the WWE at least.
Yeah, I don't really ever see him and WWE personally. And I don't think it's more from WWE. I